We're going to continue solving one-step addition equations in the Reveal Math Course 1, Volume 2 book. And yesterday we started off going over what variables and equations are. So keep that in mind as we continue with a little bit harder problems today. So I have, and remember, when you have addition one-step equations, you will have to use the subtraction property of equality. And do you remember what that means? It means that you're going to use subtraction on both sides of the equal sign. So whatever you do to one side, you do to the other side. Now let's look at example number 3. And you see 19.5 plus x equals 38.25. Look at the equal sign as the fulcrum, like on a balance scale. So this is one side, 38.25, and then 19.5 plus x is the other side. So in order to solve this problem, we're going to have to isolate x. In order to isolate x, we have to do the opposite. We have to get rid of that 19.5. So that is a positive decimal. Positive, so we're going to get rid of it, we're going to have to subtract. Do the opposite, 19 minus 19.5. And then following the subtraction property of equality, we must do the same thing on the other side of the equal sign. So we're going to subtract 19.5. And notice that I put the decimal first, and then I'm placing the 19 before the decimal, and then the 5 after the decimal. And I put a subtraction sign to remember that's what I need to do on the right side of the equal sign. And I'm going to write in a 0 after that 5. We've done that before. And then I'm going to draw a line and write an equal sign in there. So on the left side is where x is, so we'll address that first. 19.5 minus 19.5, that cancels each other out, and you're left with x. Then on the right side, we have 38.25 minus 19.5, and then we wrote the 0 in. So before we start subtracting, what do we have to do first? And I'm touching what we have to do first. You got it. Bring down the decimal. Bring down the meatball. So let's subtract. Starting with the ones column, remember to stay in your lane. 5 minus 0 is 5. 2 minus 5, can't do it because the bigger number is not on top. So we're going to have to borrow from the 8. So cross out the 8, make it 1 less, make it a 7, and then we're going to add a group of 10 to 2 to make it a 12. So now it's 12 minus 5, which is 7. And then the next column, 7 minus 9. Can it work? No, it cannot. So the bigger number is not on top, so we're going to have to cross out that, go into the next lane, cross out the 3, and then make it a 2. Add a group of 10 to 7 to make it 17. 17 minus 9 is 8. And then 2 minus 1 is 1. Very good. So that's how we got x equals 18.75. In order to see if you have this right, you're going to replace x in this equation with what value you found. So write it out, 19.5 plus 18.75 equals 38.25. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and do that. We have 19.5 plus 18.75, and I'm going to annex that 0, drop the decimal point, and then start with the ones column and start adding. 0 plus 5 is 5, 5 plus 7 is 12, and then you're going to do the right side down, left side up, and then 9 plus 8 is 17, plus 1 is 18, right side down, left side up, and then we have 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. So 38 is this plus this equal 38.25? Yes, it does. So these two numbers added together definitely check off, and everything matches. So that is another example of something a little bit harder than what we did yesterday. And we're solving one-step addition equations with decimals. Okay, let's move on to example number 4, which is 54.75 equals 26 plus x. Notice this time we put x on the right side of the equal sign. So no matter what, whatever position x is, could be on the left, it can be on the right side, it could be close to the equal sign, it could be away from the equal sign, it doesn't matter. Wherever the equal sign is, it doesn't matter wherever the variable is, you have to isolate that variable. In this case, it's x. So we see a 26 plus x. 54.75 equals 26 plus x. So we see a positive 26. We have to get rid of that. And using the subtraction property of equality, meaning whatever I do on one side, we have to do to the other side, I will get rid of that 26. So positive 26, to get rid of it, you have to do a minus 26 on the right side of the equal sign, so x can be by itself. And then whatever you do to one side, you have to do the other. And we have to put 26, a minus 26 on this side, but it's a decimal. Now, if we look at the number 26 by itself, where would we put the decimal? Let's just look at that. Where would the decimal go? Would it go here? Would it go here? Would it go here? It's a whole number. So think of dollars and cents. Dollars are whole and cents are, and that goes to the left of the decimal, and cents are part of a whole dollar, and that goes to the right of the decimal. So where would it go? We're going to drop our decimal here. It would go before the decimal, and we're going to annex 2 zeros there. Okay, and now we have minus, we're going to subtract 26 from both sides using the subtraction property of equality. So let's look at the right side, because the first thing we want to do is get rid of any numbers that are near x. So now we've 26 minus 26 cancels each other out, and you're left with x. And then on the left side of the equal sign, we have 54.75 minus 26.26. And you start subtracting. So starting with the ones column, stay in your lane, we forgot to drop the decimal point. Stay in your lane with the ones column. 5 minus 0 is 5. 7 minus 0 is 7. 4 minus 6, can it work? No, it cannot, because the bigger number is not on top. So we must borrow from the 5, make it one less. Add that group of 10 to the 4 to make it 14. Then go ahead and see and subtract. 14 minus 6 is 8. 4 minus 2 is 2. So we have 28.75 equals x. You could please know that that is the answer, and that's what we need you to show us in your problem you're submitting today. And when you can also rewrite it as x equals 28.75. It's not mandatory. But and the next thing to do, always double check your work. And so you're going to write out this equation that you started out with, replacing x with the value you found. So 54.75 is equal to 26 plus, and then you're going to fill in x with 28.75. And then down below, you would simply write a sidebar problem, making sure that 26 plus 28.75 is equal to 54.75. So we're going to do the plus sign. This is my quick little sidebar problem. 1's column 5, 10's column 7, 6 plus 8 is 14, right side down, left side up. And then 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 54.75, it checks. So I'm going to show you, so it does work out, and that is your example for problem number 4 for one-step addition equations. And the problems today are a little bit harder. So number 9, I did write into your assignment today, so you don't have to go look for it in your textbook. All right, good luck. Hope all of you are doing well. Take care. Bye-bye.